Apparently throwing up all over the floor is enough for an S rank for the police officer. Okay. Deep breath. You ask... What is this? You ask me how deeply I love you. What on earth are you doing? I'm singing. Huh? I didn't know you sing. What is the name of the song? The moon represents my heart. How does she still know this song? I thought I had... What are you mumbling about? I mean, of course, this song. Everyone in China knows this song. You thought you had erased her memories, didn't you? Why are you suddenly in the mood to sing? When I read Alicia's story about her singing, all of a sudden a lot of music just popped into my head out of nowhere. So I was thinking, maybe I was a singer before I died? Before you died? I've heard stories of how some people become gods when they die with unfulfilled wishes. That must be why I know these songs, right? And those usually ghost stories, not god stories? Although, if that had been the case, wouldn't my power have something to do with singing? What do you mean? For example, what if my singing has healing powers? Or maybe my song can bring bring peace to people at war. How imaginative. We've been alive for a long time. There is nothing strange about us knowing some songs. Gods are supposed to know everything. If it weren't for your memory loss, I'm sure you'll remember even more. Well, that makes sense. I guess I was never a singer. Now I feel sad. I didn't know you wanted to be a singer so much. Look, I made you some osmanthus cake. Wow. Nothing's more powerful than sweets. Enjoy the cake. Remember to do your work after you finish your snack. I'll see you later. Wait, I haven't heard you sing yet. Before you go, sing me something. I will not. You are my servant. You cannot say no to my request. No. As your servant, my duty is to supervise your work, and saying no to you is one of my rights. Well then, what if I serve you some tea? I made the tea. How about I wash your feet? I just washed it myself. Well, would you like me to comb your hair? What would you like to hear? Name it. Your face looks almost twisted. Well, let me think. Sweet as honey. These are all songs of Teresa Teng. Why wouldn't you pick something more exciting, more hardcore? To be fair, you've liked your music ever since you were little. Since I was little? Oh no, I mean, you have always liked her music. Anyway, I happen to know this one. Listen up, I'm going to sing now. As sweet as honey. Your smile is as sweet as honey, just like how the flowers bloom in the spring breeze. Your smile is so familiar to me, but I can't remember from where. Oh, it's from my dreams. What do you think? I've been curious. Why is it that the only sound we make when we talk is a single beep? Even the tone is always the same. Even when we were singing, it was nothing more than some rhythmic beeping. We are only now noticing that. Well, we are gods after all, not humans. We have our own unique qualities. We should focus on them. Speaking of which, how's work been recently? Oh, it's been going pretty well. My only complaint is that there are so many letters. I've been pulling a lot of all-nighters to finish them. You don't have to work that hard. We're not on the same timeline as the humans. It doesn't really matter to them when we handle their letters. The most important thing about being a god is to enjoy yourself. That's okay, I am enjoying myself. It feels so great to be able to help people. I'm really happy. Okay then, as long as you are happy. Oh, by the way, haven't we forgotten about something important? What? Important thing? Coom. Ah, there are new letters here. I need to start working. I knew it. New letters. Oh, 3 of them.
有没有搞错？
Oh god, Jimmy. Somehow Jimmy and Jang Yeon-min they remind me of each other.
Dios, ¿qué hice mal?
Are these related in any way? Okay. Special Op, Midnight, and VR rules. Okay. Let's see, Jimmy. Hey, I just noticed that there's a cat on the letter. This is the first time I've ever seen something like this. Oh, this must be a doodle that Jimmy sketched on the letter. If the doodle is very obvious, it might show up on the letters we receive. What is this that he drew? I think it's a cartoon cat called Sir Spotty. It was pretty famous in their world. We also have it in our dictionary. Well, I didn't know he was a painter too. That's impressive. Something like this barely qualifies him as a painter. I mean, it looks better than anything I could ever draw. Today was Sunday. I climbed out of bed a lot earlier than usual. I wanted to try my brand new VR game before Rocky woke up. In the 1960s, Ivan Sutherland, father of computer graphics, proposed in his paper the ultimate display that computers will be able to control everything in the virtual world. The chairs can be sat on, the bullets can be fatal, the so-called ultimate display. Nevertheless, the first relatively mature VR system didn't appear until the 1980s, when Scott Fisher developed View at NASA's Ames Research Center. The system included subsystems such as a head display, a hand glove, voice recognition, and surround sound. It was used primarily for the astronaut training at NASA. Fast forward to 2016. The conversation surrounding VR and various types of headsets started to get serious, and it was widely regarded as the year of virtual reality. All the conversations were kickstarted because of the first consumer-grade head display being finally produced by Oculus, which was bought earlier by Facebook in 2014. The deal successfully brought the concept of VR to the public. In any case, VR isn't really as young as many people think, and it means much more than just a display in a headset. Now, every time. There are all kinds of games available now, FPS, dancing games, even X-rated ones. The VR gear was the big thing these days, and the good ones were all so expensive. The one I got cost almost 10 grand. If I hadn't told my dad that I was buying this for research purposes, which technically wasn't entirely untrue, there was no way he would have bought it for me. Let me take a short break here. I put the gear on. It was more like a helmet, really. It was quite heavy. However, wow, it did feel quite realistic. It was as if my body had entered a virtual world. I changed my position. That felt so good. I tried all of the tricks that I could. I was exhausted. I took off the gear and realized that Rocky had been up. He was wearing the smart glasses that I'd bought a while ago and was looking right in my direction. My eyes widened in shock when I noticed the recording light blinking on the glasses. Rocky, what are you doing? The way you were playing looked too funny, so I decided to keep it for posterity. I caught my ass. The automatic streaming option was on. Wait, what? Streaming? I hurried over to my computer, logged into the streaming website and checked my channel. Oh my gosh, everything had been broadcast. There had been over 5 million viewers and it went straight to the top of the rankings. The commenters had gone berserk. Everyone was screaming, pervert, tent in the pants. Somebody even said they would dox me. I was so screwed. Jimmy. God damn it, Jimmy. "11 p.m. Warehouse 23, Port of Busan. The warehouse was half full. There was an asphalt barrel in the middle of it that did not seem to belong there. I walked towards it to check its contents. As I had suspected, it wasn't filled with asphalt. A person had been stuffed inside. It was a very muscular man who was barely breathing. This morning at work I had received an express delivery. There was nothing but a photo in the envelope with a time and location written on its back. The same barrel was in the center of the photo. It was at the exact same spot that I was looking at right now with my own eyes. Then I heard scurrying footsteps near the gate of the warehouse and the clinking sounds of guns. Warehouse 23 belonged to the Musun gang. It couldn't have been more obvious that this was a trap set up for me by Joy Johan. Yet, I had to come. 20 minutes later, the muscular man and I were tied together, sitting on the ground with our backs against each other. The two guards who were in charge of watching us had been waiting for their replacement, but they were so sleepy that they could barely keep their eyes open. It was pretty late after all. Anyone who had to watch two middle-aged men like us would get sleepy. I quietly cut the rope with the razor blade glued to my sleeve while the guards were dozing off. Then I grabbed the Glock 43 that I had hidden in my pant leg and covered it with my palms. Glock 43, aka G43, is a semi-automatic pistol produced by the Austrian weapons manufacturer Glock GmbH. The standard magazine has a capacity of 6. G43 is a slimline version of the subcompact Glock 26 that features an ultra-compact slide-in frame, which makes it the smallest one in the entire series. The extension at the end of the magazine provides additional support at the pinky finger. It helps improve the accuracy of shooting. Accuracy, stability, and compactness has made it one of the favorites of undercover detectives and private security officers. After years of police work around here, I knew every single warehouse at this port like the back of my hand. All of the warehouses from number 15 to 25 were large-sized ones. They were usually filled with lots of huge cargo containers. If there were some reinforcements outside to distract them, I should be able to defend myself inside, even with only 6 bullets. They were not the only ones waiting for their prey tonight. This was all part of my plan. There was a shoddy clock on the wall of the warehouse. It made a ticking noise every time a hand moved. The hour hand was almost on 12, and the minute hand was 10 minutes away from it. I gave the muscle man a signal in his palm behind my back and waited patiently. I handed the gun to him. Lots of noises were coming from outside of the warehouse. It sounded like a lot of people and cars. At the same moment, the minute hand had also hit 12. We both stood up and ran towards the back of the warehouse. However, I didn't expect the muscular man to suddenly trip and fall only after a few steps. His legs were presumably numb and stiff after being cramped up for so long. These 2 guards were wide awake now. Multiple gunshots echoed inside the warehouse. They never intended to let us get out of here alive, and there was certainly no reason to hold back anymore. And then I saw holes exploding all over the muscular man's body right in front of me. Fuck you all, you monsters. Bastards, motherfuckers. Go to hell. I turned around and raised my gun. In the chaos, a bullet hit my thigh. Suddenly, all the other bullets still flying in the air seemed to be moving in slow motion. They were so slow that I could even see their rotation and the vapor trails after them. I realized that he had woken up. When I woke up, I was lying in a cheap motel somewhere. I changed into some clean clothes. There was a half-eaten sandwich and a glass of orange juice on the nightstand next to my bed. I opened my left fist. As I expected, there was a note with a message that looked like it had been written by a child. These new clothes cost 50,000. I survived, but Choi Johan had got what he wanted to, again. I had lost another important person in my life. Again. Kang Baek-ya. Alright, we can fix this. Alright. Jimmy, I don't know who you're handing a gun to, but okay. I kind of just want to see what happens here. Perhaps they were desperate to try to stay awake. The 2 guards even started watching porn together on their phone. Lots of noises were coming from outside of the warehouse. It sounded like a lot of people and cars. At the same moment, the minute, yeah, okay. Yeah, he tripped. And then everything happened again, as it all happened before. Yep. Yeah, everything else is exactly the same. Alright, but what happened to Jimmy? This game was so nauseating. I made the right decision to have my partner carry the gun. I was so wise. But the game felt super boring if you weren't actually shooting something. I took the 10 grand helmet off and threw it back into the drawer. Rocky was still snoring in his bed. He had probably stayed up last night, again for a soccer game. Never mind him, I was going to head out and roam the streets now. I put on the smart glasses that I bought a while ago and snuck out of the school into a real three-dimensional world. Okay, that's an S rank. I mean, all that achieve. Just in case our legs were too stiff to run, the muscle man and I quietly shifted around a bit to loosen up our legs. Lots of noises were coming from outside of the warehouse. Yep. By the time the two guards noticed we were gone, we were already taking cover behind the cargo containers. Any time now. Just a little longer. The guard with the gun was walking towards the back of the warehouse and the other one was behind him. I needed to stall a little longer. I couldn't let them come any closer. I stared at their stretched shadows on the ground. I had the barrel of my gun peeking out from behind the containers. Then I pulled the trigger and my first shot hit the right hand of the guard in front. Seeing their partner hurt and screaming in pain, the other guards stopped moving towards us out of fear. Then the garage gate slowly opened. They were here. Right on time. That's an S rank for Babe. Nice. Got some new post
부처님, 나도 좀 도와줘요.
from Jung Yeon Min and Kang Bae.
어떻게 이럴 수가?
Yeah, that's very obvious what's happening there. But for now, that'll be the end of me. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.